We have got summer temperatures again because we're getting into summertime. I mean, it's March in Arizona here. And one of the things that comes along with that is temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and everybody in the RV park running the air conditioners. And you worry about surge protectors for your RV to protect you from surges and potential lightning strikes and things like that. But that's not really what the big boys do, and that's how you justify the $400 cost of these things here. It's kind of ridiculous. And it makes it hard to buy one when you don't know if you need it or not. That's a big expense. So today I've got a couple of things here that might be able to help you determine whether or not you actually need one of those. And these guys, they're 20 bucks a piece. So let me show you how they work and get some answers. So what we have here is a standard RV pedestal. So you've got your 50 amp, your 30 amp, and a 20 amp. And you can tell it's a 20 because it's got that little T dog bone on the side. So to make everything safe, I'm gonna turn it all off. This is for my second rooftop AC, and this is actually a pretty cool little device. What it does is it takes the 50 amp plug and it splits it into a 15 amp and a 30 amp receptacle, all in one little neat dog bone. So this is what I use to plug in my second rooftop AC. One of the things that I have is this tester. We'll plug that into the 50 amp. This is the 30 amp that runs the whole RV, the battery charger, the rooftop AC, the second one. The first one? The first one. And the microwave and everything else that's in there. And I've got this 30 amp tester that we'll plug into that. And then just because we're here and because why not? This is a typical electrical tester. You probably already have one of these, and it works for this. And of course that outlet's upside down. So we'll just plug it in and see what the lights look like. So let's test that one first. And I can't see any lights on it, so is it tripped? Still can't see any lights on it? Oh, because it's got an on-off switch. So reset. All right, we'll play with this one in a second when I can see it because it's upside down. Turn on the 30 amp. We got green, green, which means power on and correct wiring. So I know the 30 amp is good, but I don't know how much power it's putting out. And we have the 50 amp, green, 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 which means power on and correct wiring. And it gives you a little diagram here of what all of the different things are. Let me get you a close-up of that. Look at that amazing zoom technology. So there's a little diagram, and if you see different indicator lights lit up in different ways, then it means different things. And a pro tip from your old buddy T.O. here, this is a pretty dirty setup for an RV electrical plug. Get yourself some QD electronics cleaner, clean this off, dry it off, make it nice and shiny again instead of verdigris like that, verdigris, however you pronounce that, and that'll help out a lot with some electrical gremlins you might have. So one of the reasons why this one wasn't working is because it takes batteries, so it's got some advanced functions. I was hoping just to get a cheap one, but I like more advanced things sometimes. And we're also inside, which is going to make this a little bit easier. This is a GFI protected outlet. Let's turn this on. There we go, on. And one of the cool things is this is going to tell me voltage. So 121.4, and it's doing some checking. It says everything is correct on there. Let's test it. And we just tripped, and it passed, and she's blinking. We just walked over and reset the GFI. So let's push the reset button. That turns it off, I guess. Turn her back on. And there we go, give it a chance to stabilize. We're at 120 volts, and it says it's correct, and the green light is on showing that it's correct. But you can see that the voltage is fluctuating, and this is where that Watchdog thing would come in handy, because it's a EMS and an EPO, I think it's EMS, energy management system. And what it will do is if the electricity goes down below a certain voltage level to your RV, then it will shut off the power with the EPO, or it will let you know so that you're not ruining your expensive air conditioners. And that's where the real problem comes in. If you have a residential refrigerator also, the motors inside of those devices, if they get starved for electricity, they'll still run. They won't be happy. And imagine you trying to do a heavy amount of work on a hot summer's day with barely enough energy to get it done. So now we know that we might be real close to needing one. I think it's like 108 volts is where they really start to want to cut off, but I'm not a Sparky, so don't quote me on that number. But we're at 115 right now, which is probably okay. So having something like this sticking out of your electrical outlets instead of being in your toolbox isn't terribly pretty. But I have But I have another solution for you. I'm going to get these out of the box and show you what these things here are. They are obviously AC digital voltmeters, but they look a little bit better than this does. All right, this is what they look like outside of the box. And they only take up one outlet, so you still have room for plugging something else in there. And we're at 120 volts on that. So it's pretty good. And we saw on this meter here that we were somewhere between 116 and 120, 129 was the highest I saw. And so it looks like there might actually be some smoothing circuitry inside of the little pretty voltmeter. And you can just leave that plugged in all day long, and as you're walking by, check it out, see what's going on, see what's happening. Let's turn on the regular air conditioner and see what happens. Then I'll turn on my second air conditioner and see what happens. All right, so this is turning on the overhead secondary air conditioner that I installed. It's coming to life. And this is not on that 30 amp circuit that you're looking at. Is it going to have an effect? It's in the same panel. There's the fan on, no change. Waiting for the compressor. Turn that all the way down and force that compressor on. All right, no change. I always forget how quiet that air conditioner is compared to the big boy. I'm going to plug the big boy in next, but I'm also going to have the Kaiweets outlet tester plugged in because that one gives me a little bit more real-time, unsmoothed data results. I don't think I'll be able to get them both on camera at the same time, but I'm here for you. They're both plugged in and you can kind of see the difference here. 120 volts on this, and this one here keeps fluctuating. I saw 123.8. And then I saw 115, 113, but like I said, I won't be able to get them both on camera at the same time as I walk across the room to turn on the big boy. All right, big boy should be coming on any second now. There it is. Oh, look at that. We got a 119 there, and this one says 118. Yeah, so this park has got really good power. There's the compressor, 116, 118, 117. Perfect. So if you wanted to protect from surges, there are some affordable options for surge protectors. Like I said, these testers here test the outlet is okay. Make sure that you don't have your ground and neutral wired together wrong. Make sure you don't have the reverse polarity where the hot's on the wrong side and the neutral's on the wrong side. Things like that are really easy to check with a $20 tester. They've got, I want to say they're around $50. I'll leave a picture on the screen here for you of some of the more affordable whole RV surge protector type deals. You can also get hardwired ones, or you can go all out and get the big boy from Hughes or from Southwire for a little bit more money. I've heard good and bad things about all of them. I don't have any personal experience with them. I'm at the beginning of year 4. It's March of year 4 here for me in my full-time RV life, and I've never had one. And I've only had one surge protector go bad at one RV park in Colorado in all of that time. So it's a little hard for me to justify needing one of those Hughes Watchdog EMS EPO type deals until now, because the big deal is that sub 108 volts where it's going to damage the compressor motors in your fridge and in your air conditioners. And those things are more expensive than the Watchdog is from Hughes or from Southwire. So I hope this has been informative and helps you make a decision, gather the right tools, gather the right information you need to make your decision to purchase one of those things or not. And I will leave links in the description down below for the testing tools and for the Watchdog and the Southwire and the cheap surge protector. And Hughes has a big boy, it's $1,000 that brings the voltage back up in addition to testing whether or not the voltage is too low. It'll actually try and fix it as best as it can up to a certain percentage level, because there's only so much magic you can do with physics, and then got to ask for help from a higher power. Pun intended. If you like videos like this one, then be sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking the button right below my pretty face here that is marked subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. If you like these videos even that much more, there's a join button down there where you can become a member. And if you really want, I've got another video for you right over here I think you'll enjoy next. I'll see you over there.